Yo, what's up guys? I hope everyone's enjoying their week so far. Today we're talking about the Simgot EA500. Word has been going around that it's the new benchmark under $100, and I gotta somewhat agree, it's pretty good. But before we start, shout out to Simgot and Linso for sending me these, go check them out. But with that being said, let's just jump into it. First, let's talk about the base. It's pretty great, probably the best quality under $200. The impact, slam, and weight to the low end is very well done. It's thick but well separated and has great texture, especially in the mid bass. Simgot definitely did not cheap out on the driver in this. The low end is very physical, and although it's mid bass focused, the sub bass isn't lacking either. Now, it's not going to sound like a subwoofer, but the rumble is there and it's enough. However, one potential problem is that the EA500 isn't going to be the most neutral and quote-unquote correct sounding when you compare it to the Korg's DSP, for example. I do hear masking in the lower mids, and female vocals definitely sound huskier and warmer, so the clarity isn't going to be as good as the Korg's DSP, but the mid bass is very satisfying. And I do prefer the black nozzle more because it has slightly less mid bass, which helps with clarity, and also less treble, which allows the vocals to be smoother and less sibilant, because I do find the red nozzle having too much air when it comes to certain tracks. As for the mids, it's pretty clean for the most part. Again, vocals aren't going to sound as open and clear versus the Korg's DSP, which has less mid bass, but they're not congested either, just huskier. Personally, I would still pick the Korg's DSP because it sounds more open and natural, but I can see the appeal of the thicker tonality. It definitely leans on the warmer side, so if you found the Korg's DSP to be thin or lacking in note weight, then the EA500 fixes that at the cost of some clarity. But the bass texture and impact is much better. Treble wise, the EA500 is nicely extended. It's smooth for the most part, although the peak at around 13K does hurt scaling and brings too much energy to vocals and the electric guitars at higher volumes. Because of the thicker mid bass, the extra treble energy gives the vocals a nice sparkle to balance out the thickness, but again, it can get too much with the red nozzle, whereas the black nozzle adds the air and sparkle without going overboard. Either way, I wouldn't necessarily recommend either for high volume, and dynamically speaking, the Korg's DSP is noticeably smoother in the treble and upper mids, so again, I would still take the Korg's DSP in terms of pure dynamics. And for those wondering if the Simgot is a mini Dark Magician, no, unfortunately it's not. The DM is just way more balanced and smooth. Compared to the DM, the EA500 has more treble and upper mids energy, creating a bigger contrast from 200 to 2K, as well as lacking the scaling, staging, and vocal finesse of the DM. For example, if the vocals and mid-range on the DM is airy like a glass of high-end champagne, then the EA500 is a very tasty glass of sparkling cocktail. But I will say the bass texture is very similar on both, so if you're looking for the best quality low end under $100 or even $200, then the EA500 is a pretty good choice. Now, comparing it to some other benchmarks like the Olina SE and Hexa, I prefer the EA500 over both of them because of its bass quality. The Olina is similarly graphed but can sound light and lacks the note weight and low end slam, whereas the Hexa can sound too hollow and thin. And I really don't see the point in getting the Hexa when the Korg's DSP exists, which does the neutral signature more correctly with similar clarity, better dynamics, and also costs like 4 times less. Now, the EA500 isn't going to have a stupid amount of bass like the Ross Finch, but it does have the best quality bass I heard until the Stereo and Vortex. And although it doesn't sound like a subwoofer like the Con, the driver quality and low-end texture is better. So if I had $100, I would grab the EA500 and Korg's DSP to have a taste of what a high quality low end is and what a quote unquote correct IEM should sound like. And to put the cherry on top, the EA500's metal build quality, nice cable and case is also probably the best at $100. So yeah, although it's not going to sound as clear, correct, and smooth as the Korg's DSP, I still recommend it for its bass quality and thicker tonality. Anyways, those are my thoughts. Thanks for watching guys, like, comment, and sub, and I'll see everyone in the next video. Peace.